South China Morning Post, 13th of February 2024, the pro-China leader of the Solomon Islands pledges to maintain a delicate balance with Australia while vying for re-election. China has maintained a financial sway over the Solomon Islands leadership despite widespread anti-Chinese unrest and opposition from the populace. If re-elected in April, the ruling party of the Solomon Islands has pledged to maintain a pragmatic equilibrium between stronger ties with China and traditional partners such as Australia. Since regaining power in 2019, the Prime Minister of the Pacific nation, Manasseh Sogavare, has adopted a pro-Beijing position and accused agents of Western powers of attempting to overthrow his government. Subsequently, he severed diplomatic relations with Taiwan to align himself with Beijing. Furthermore, in 2022, he entered into a security treaty with China, which caused Western nations apprehension due to Beijing's expanding military presence. However, diplomatic analysts caution that an excessively close relationship with China might provoke a backlash from both within China and other Pacific nations and the United States. On Tuesday, the governing Ownership, Unity and Responsibility Party announced that it would also pursue Australian infrastructure funding in addition to the opportunities presented by China's Belt and Road Initiative. By pursuing a Look North foreign policy, the party will strengthen ties with China while fostering ties with other traditional allies, including Australia, the statement continued. Sogavare emphasized that our party maintains the posture of being allies to all and enemies to none. Sogavare informed Parliament in December that the nation was the epicenter of a geopolitical war between Western powers competing for influence in the Pacific and China. He claimed that the United States has a geopolitical superiority complex and stated that Chinese investments could assist his nation in reducing its dependence on foreign assistance. He further said, "We must awaken. Those days have passed." Since 2000, Sogavare has been in and out of office multiple times. In April, the country will elect a new leader for a fifth term in office. Sogavare's stance remains unchanged. He has maintained ties with Australia while embracing China, said Alan Tidwell, Georgetown University's Centre for Australian, New Zealand, and Pacific Studies Director. Recognizing the reality on the ground is all that matters. Sogavare's guidelines remain unchanged. He has embraced China while preserving ties with Australia, stated Alan Tidwell, Director of Georgetown University's Centre for Australian, New Zealand, and Pacific Studies. It's just an acknowledgement of the ground reality. Furthermore, he stated that Sogavare's approach towards China was calculated to strengthen his standing as a leader capable of fulfilling the expectations of his followers. The Lowy Institute, an Australian think tank, ranks China as the second largest official donor of development assistance in 2021. China is the leading trading partner of the Solomon Islands. According to Corey Lee Bell, a researcher affiliated with the Australia-China Relations Institute at the University of Technology Sydney, Sogavare's China policy could have originated from apprehensions regarding sovereignty, specifically regarding Australia, its long-standing security ally. His strategy has been to prevent economic and security aid from more powerful nations from being misconstrued as undue influence, he explained. Sogavare has implemented a form of dynamic equidistance or geostrategic competition and leaning in different directions or at different times between Australia and China as part of this strategy. He mentioned the Pacific Games, during which Australia and China assisted policing in a manner that is vaguely reminiscent of a bidding war. He stated that other nations, such as East Timor, had also attempted to balance cooperation with Australia in relations with China. Furthermore, he stated that since 2006, Fiji has pursued partners outside Australia and New Zealand using a strategy similar to the Solomon Islands Look North approach. However, he added that the country's closer ties with China had generated difficulties due to gangs and extreme corruption. One of the incidents that damaged relations between Fiji and China in 2017 was when Chinese investigators, who appeared to have little regard for the legal system on the island, detained Chinese people who were allegedly operating online scams and flew them back. Sogavare will likely be aware that, as has been the case in the Pacific in recent years, if he gets too close to China, the threat from domestic opponents raising similar concerns about the agency will increase, Bell said. Further, he stated, although nobody will oppose Sogavare's efforts to pursue economic opportunities through partnerships with China, he will likely face pressure from other Pacific Island nations as well as domestic, Australian, and American interests to prevent him from approaching Beijing too closely on the security front. Additionally, he asserted that while other nations in the area might be reaping the benefits of strategic competition, they prefer to conceal it not to escalate tensions and draw the region into a great power competition. Bell stated that he anticipated Washington and Canberra, accustomed to Sogavare's strong language, to engage in dialogue should he be re-elected. However, he would establish a firm red line: they would not tolerate anything that came near a permanent Chinese military presence or base. I don't see why Honiara, the capital of the Solomon Islands, wouldn't observe that, and that would leave ample room for renegotiating its relations with Canberra and Washington, he continued. If past actions are any indication, Sogavare will reorient its focus towards China while likely maintaining communication with Australia. Based on past actions, Australia will likely attempt to resell or upgrade their support in light of Sogavare's re-evaluation.